Is it me, or are we best friends?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely your best friend. That's great for you.
Harry had committed the unforgivable crime.
I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, Megan Thee Stallion, she should just stay away from fire signs. It doesn't matter what their gender is or their age. Fire signs are a no-go unless their actions have consistently shown them to be mature, thoughtful, and secure in who they are. They're not, needing outside validation. They're not going through a midlife crisis. They're not in a secret competition with her. She needs to stay clear of any unhealed, karmic, toxic, depending upon her freaking fire signs, okay? I mean, seriously, if we go down the list, it's pretty evident that she doesn't have the best track record with fire sign rappers. Nicki Minaj, a Sagittarius. Glorilla, a Leo. Tory Lanez, a Leo. Even Kylie Jenner, I'm gonna throw her ass in there, a Leo. Even though she's not a rapper, she had a baby by one, so there we go. I'm going to be light on Glorilla, though. I don't think she's karmic or toxic. She may have some things she needs to heal within herself, but don't we all? So I'm going to be a little forgiving with Glorilla. I really do like her energy, her personality, her perseverance. And I think that it was an honest mistake. And, just from looking at her actions in the past, she can have a little bit of a troll, vibe at times, but she's not vindictive, or it doesn't seem like it. And I don't know her personally. It doesn't seem like she's a hateful person or was jealous of Megan or anything like that. I do think they have a nice relationship, a nice friendship, and she might have, really sincerely made a mistake and just didn't hear what it was before she put it out. But so I'm not going to get on her too bad, but still, Megan needs to be careful about these fire signs. But I thought fire and air are great for each other. They're so perfect and compatible.
When fire and air fall in love, it's electric. One brings a spark, the other fans the flames.
Yes, on the surface level of astrology, this is true. Fire and air are compatible, and in general, they make great friends and partners. But remember, that's surface level astrology, which is fun and great for the cute little horoscopes you find in the back of magazines. But if you want to learn how to use astrology to actually enhance and improve your life, you have to swim a little deeper. You don't got to go too deep. Just swim a little deeper. We consist of more than just our sun sign. There are other placements to take note of in order to figure out why you may not vibe with a certain elemental tribe. And that's okay. It's learning who you are, just using astrology to do so. In Megan's case, though, she is an Aquarius, and all types of people will be attracted to her because of her friendly nature and her bubbly attitude, and just, there's a certain type of social charisma that Aquarius exude. And this makes her dynamic and definitely gives her an appeal. But what gives her that type of dynamic appeal that attracts so many people and so much attention upon her is the combination of her big four. And I'm talking about her sun placement, her moon, her rising, and her north node. Her sun is in Aquarius, her moon is in Leo, her rising is Taurus, and her north node is in Scorpio. She has all four fixed signs as a part of four major points within her astrological natal chart. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into that just to stay on topic, but if you know a little bit of something about astrology, then you should already be able to detect that having four fixed signs, the four fixed signs, as a part of those four very, very important points in a chart is significant, and it does show her power and why she is a powerhouse. But anyway, moving along, let's look at her moon. Her moon is in her 5th house of Leo. And Leo typically is the ruler of the 5th house. Now, does that happen in all of our natal charts? No. You might have a different ruler in your chart for your 5th house. But if we're talking about in general, the Leo rules the 5th house, and she has her moon there. I think the only other more dynamic positioning of a planet being in the 5th house of Leo would be the sun itself, or maybe even Jupiter to a lesser degree. But the moon being there, OMG. And then she has her sun and her Mercury both in her 10th house of Aquarius. That is showing that this is a part of her whole makeup. This is her soul's calling, is to be and have a career within entertainment, within the drama of life. And I'm not talking about drama like, oh, she's starting mess. I'm talking about the theatrics, right? That's why she's so theatrical. That's why she's so dramatic. That's why she's entertaining. That's why she is performative, right? She has to be able to express herself in these ways, because not only is it a part of her makeup, but it's also a part of where her soul is calling her to make a living, basically, to have a career. This is part of her social status. Her moon being in her 5th house really does show that soul calling for that. Her sun and her Mercury being in her 10th house of Aquarius means that she was always meant to be universal. She was always meant to be a star, a universal star, international, never to be just, stuck to one city or county or state or anything like that. She was always meant to be universal. She was always meant to have a public platform, to be a part of mass media in some type of way. Her aura, and thus her presence, is uplifting with this type of a placement of her moon being in Leo in her 5th house. She has a vibrance that truly uplifts and inspires people around her to want to do their absolute best. She is a natural born leader, and she knows how to work with people. She knows how to bring people together and make them shine, because them shining helps whatever she's trying to do, whatever project she's working on, whatever, it helps her shine in the end. To a karmic, unhealed fire sign, especially a Leo, Megan's energy will trigger their jealousy. It will completely deflate that inflated ego that they have, because it's based upon, their own exaggeration of how their status exists within the world. This is an unhealed Leo, okay? And she's going to ignite and trigger that unhealed portion within them. She's going to get a lot of attention just by being her authentic self. She doesn't have to do much, just be herself, and she will get that attention, and she will essentially outshine a Leo. And if they are karmic or unhealed, this will bother them, because how dare you try to outshine me? How dare you be the leader? And that's just not a good mindset to have. But of course, they're unhealed, they're karmic, so they're going to have that type of mindset until they switch their views and change their perspectives for a better one. When it comes to Megan's relationship and consequently deadly incident with Tory Lanez, I will base my assumptions purely on astrology, so that I don't have to say allegedly a million times, right? Astrology is a pseudoscience, so of course it's alleged. Anyways, don't sue me. Tory Lanez is a sun in Leo. He's a Leo, but he has a Cancer moon. And with this placement, he has a knack, naturally, for emotional manipulation. This is why he plays the sympathy card so much and is really heavily trying to rely on public outrage to keep his name in the news, to keep him, popular. Also means that he has dramatic mood swings and he is extremely expressive with his emotions. You have to know how he feels, even if you don't care. I believe that their argument in the car prior to the incident with the firearm was over their differing degrees of fame. With Megan's Mercury in her 10th house of Aquarius, I know she was speaking straight facts with a bluntness that could cut deep. His emotions truly might have gotten the best of him. There might have been a lot of alcohol at play, but from a drunk man's words comes the truth of his heart. Anyways, when it comes to a person who has a unhealed and bad aspected Cancer moon, and then also a very expressive, very, attention grabbing, dramatic, and exaggerant Leo sun, it can be a very bad combination. And I believe he was in his emotions. He was in his feelings. His ego was crushed under the weight of her words until he felt the need to make her feel what he was feeling in that moment. The sad part is that he probably didn't have the words, and I didn't really get into his chart. I didn't feel like looking. I should have looked at his Mercury, but I didn't. Oh well. He probably has a Mercury in Cancer, or somewhere where it is defected in the sense that he doesn't know how to properly express himself using his words. He's always been physically expressive, meaning that he has to be action to let you know how I feel, to communicate with you, as opposed to let me just sit here and tell you how I feel. And so I feel like, his emotions, his feeling, his jealousy, his rage, his unchecked and unhealed triggers caused him to do what he did in that moment, allegedly. Megan is like the final boss you face in a video game. She is walking karma. Once again, going back to those 4 fixed signs that inhabit very important pieces of her chart. She is literally walking karma. She doesn't even have to do anything to get back at people. In fact, she shouldn't. That would cancel things out in a way, or cause bigger problems than necessary. I think she probably figured this out young of age, like most people who are walking karma learn pretty young, is that, okay, I should just be a good person and always do right, always do my best, always try to be on the right side, because, when it comes back, it hits harder for the people who are walking karma. So I think she figured that out pretty young in age, and she's at that point now where it's like, yeah, there's no need to get back. If I do need to say something, I can say something. I have every right to do so, but beyond that, I don't need to physically get back at you. In fact, the best way for her, just like for most of us, to get back at anybody is to get your paper, aka be successful and do what you love to do. Because doing what you love to do, you will be successful at it. And that is how you get back at the people who don't want you to succeed. You succeed. So she really doesn't even have to do anything. Like literally, her ancestors will be at your door. 1, 2, 3, 4. Especially with that Scorpio North Node. And going to that, her North Node is in her 7th house of Scorpio. This is the house of one-on-one relationships. This is the house of laws. This is the house of legalities. This is that's that house, okay? Usually ruled by Libra, but in her chart it is ruled by and occupied by Scorpio in her North Node. If you enter into a relationship with Megan, your life is going to be changed. It will be transformed. There's no getting around it. The relationships that she takes part in will always be vital to her evolution. That's why, in combination with her Saturn return happening around the same time, that the incident took place, that particular relationship, as well as two other ones, one with her best friend, the one with Nicki Minaj, her relationship with her mother, all her relationships pretty much did now you got to review it. You got to look at it. You got to reflect upon it. You got to learn from it so that you can grow from it, so that you can elevate from it, so that you can evolve from it. That's that Scorpio energy. So everybody who was involved with Megan during that time, especially, had something in their lives change for good. And when I say for good, I'm not necessarily saying it felt good in the moment, but this had to happen in order for good transformations to take place along down that road, right? The tower doesn't feel great when it's happening, but then when you look back at it, you go, I'm glad that happened. Okay, one of those types of situations for Megan, for her friend, I forgot her name, Kelsey, for Nicki, and for Tory, and a whole bunch of other people. Like I said, with that North Node being in Scorpio in her 7th house, relationships will always be transformative when it comes to her, and also be very vital to her evolution. She will constantly be evolving, whether it's her career, her friendships, her style. She cannot be contained by a box or a category that people will try to place on her or put her in. It's just not possible. She is too big. She is too expansive in her, as you know, according to her natal chart, and she's just too multidimensional. Okay, she has to be fully expressed in all dimensions. This is why I'm also extremely excited to see Megan hanging out with Queen Latifah. Megan is going to do what Queen did, but do it even bigger, which I'm sure would make the Queen proud. If you don't know, Queen Latifah started out as a successful rapper and then pivoted to television, then starred in multiple movies, and now she's back on television on her own show, okay? The music industry respects her as a rapper. Her television shows are iconic, okay? Living Single, anyone, okay? And a massive audience outside of Black America truly enjoys watching her films, you know, and Black America, of course, but she's very international in that sense. Queen Latifah is the perfect mentor for Megan. They are going to achieve great success in their business ventures together because Queen is the matured energy of Megan. And the reason why I say this is because just like Megan, Queen Latifah has a Leo moon and a Taurus rising. But Queen has a Pisces sun. So there is already a sense of compassion that comes with Queen Latifah, and an intuitive knowing without all that mushy love, you know, all that mushy shit, okay? But in addition to all this, Queen's North Node is in Pisces, which vibes very well with Megan's Scorpio North Node.
So, Queen, how do you feel about tonight? Murder them. Murder them. Pow, 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 pow.
Megan won't be rapping for long. It's just inevitable. She's going to move into a whole bunch of other stuff, and I'm so excited for her. And this is why she really needs to stay away from fire signs who are unhealed, because their jealousy can lead to more violence. It can lead to more destruction. And that's just not what she needs around her right now. So if she's going to take that risk, make sure it's calculated. And additionally, even though Nicki is not a Leo, she's still a fire sign because she is a Sagittarius. And in addition to that, she has a Virgo moon. So there's a whole bunch going in right there alone, saying that, you know, there could be a projection that Nicki was throwing out at Megan during that time when they were heavily beefing. And it mainly is because I feel, based upon their charts, I feel that she felt intimidated. Nicki was intimidated. And it's not because she thinks that Megan can't rap. I really don't believe she thinks that. In fact, I think Megan was the only one that truly threatened Nicki's position. And I know some people are going to be like, never, never. Trust me, I love me some Nicki. I love me some Nicki. But there has not been any evolution in her rapping. And she has to stay evolving because her avenues outside of the rap music industry is very slim to none. She tried acting, that really didn't go much of anywhere, and it's because she doesn't have the look. Now some of y'all might be like, hold on, Nicki's beautiful. Yes, Nicki is fucking beautiful, but she has a reputation for being difficult, and that can go many ways. We ain't gonna go there today right now. But she does have that reputation, and on top of that, her acting is okay. It's not like the best, you know what I'm saying? It's better than Beyonce's, no shade. But that's really what it is. It's going to limit your visibility, limit your roles, it's going to limit her, and she knows this. So, you know, that's probably why she's like, no, rap is me. I am the queen. I'm ruling over this, because that might be her only strong avenue right now to continue making money and continue having some type of prominence somewhere. You know, she worked hard for it, but at the same time, it's like, if you had other avenues, would you be going as hard to maintain this, you know, throne of yours if you had other things going on? Probably not. And she's always wanted to be in other forms of entertainment. She's always done like little acting things even before she became big. So this is definitely something she wanted to do, but I just don't feel like she has much of a door open in that sense. But for Megan, she won't be rapping for long. Megan, you can already tell by who she is, you know, pivoting to and starting to hang out with. She's not going to be rapping for long. And it's not because she's a weak artist. She's a good rapper. She would have longevity in the rap game. It's because her personality and multiple talents need many avenues to properly express her creativity. And the rap game is limited and hostile to Black women. Okay? I truly feel this is why Nicki felt so threatened by Megan's growing prominence. It's because she knew where she was headed. She knew she has the look. She has the look, y'all. And Nicki became jealous of the opportunities that awaited Megan that she would never have. And it's not because of age, because like I said, Nicki still looks good. But what she did to her body in order to satisfy the male gaze, well, this is the consequences of your actions. You know, you just got to live with them. And Nicki has done, remember, Megan is karma walking. Nicki has done a lot of stuff in the past where it's like, come on, girl, I love you, but come on. You know, you kind of did Kim kind of shady, okay? And this is coming from a millennial who grew up and listened to both of them. I was, you know, there for Little Kim's peak. You know, I was there for Nicki's arrival, okay? I love both of them. You know, the game wouldn't be right without either of them. We needed both of them. But Nicki kind of did her shady. She kind of did her shady. She didn't give the respect. You know, there's some other stuff. And so a lot of this is karma coming back. Megan doesn't have to do anything but continue to shine. Her ancestors already got all that handled. All she has to do is to continue to shine, focus in on her businesses, which will be successful, keep going international. That's a part of her design. With that Aquarius 10th house, she needs to always stay international.
Hey, let's do a quick little exercise, okay? I walk up to you, I say, hey, who do you think would be a really good brand partner for the Paris 2024 Olympics? What would you say?
I would bet a lot of money that you didn't say Meg Thee Stallion. And that's unfortunate because we could have missed out on this amazing cultural moment. Never in my life would I have guessed that Meg Thee Stallion would have an Olympics commercial. And as an avid fan of the Olympics, I love it. Yeah, so for the foreseeable future, I'll be referring to it as the Olympics. Argue with somebody else.
And that is the Olympics, hot girl style. Olympics.
Olympics?
Olympics.
Okay? Stay working with your universal audience, because her audience goes beyond just America, beyond just rap in the rap game, beyond just black folks, beyond. She is universal, y'all. So I can't wait to see what Megan does. Stay away from them karmic ass unhealed fire signs, girl. Okay? Keep pushing. I love to see you hanging out with Queen Latifah. I can't wait to see what you do with her, because I already know she got some things up her sleeve. She's very imaginative. She's got the visions, and you got the energy, you got the spunk, you got the youth, and you also got the talent. So big ups to all the ladies in the game. I want nothing but the best for all of y'all. All right? And I love each and every one of y'all. Till the next time.